it. Honestly, Jimmy, you should check out this album because fucking Travis Scott was like a producer before becoming a rapper.
Uh-huh.
So like for most of his, well, pretty much all of his albums, there's like a heavy focus on like the production side as well.
It sounds really good.
And yeah, that whole album is like pretty much like each song transitions to the other, kind of like old school records would.
Mm-hmm.
And like, yeah, like that.
Do they
song
do
has,
skits
like,
in the middle of it?
No skits on the album, but it's just fucking super impressive the way it's all put together, and like each track pretty much has like at least a beat switch up in it. He works on all of his vocals himself. Like he's pretty much found his voice and how he wants it to sound, so then he just fucking coasts off that shit.
That's fucking sick. I gotta check that out for sure.
Yeah. Seeing that bitch live.
Actually live from the studio, by the way. I'm Jimmy Selesky.
Merrick Glazer.
Good to see you. We're not live.
We're not live.
Usual.
Per request.
Hit you with the big fucking ice cream birthday present, dude.
Dude, thank you for that. That was
fucking
nice.
Went and got
Nice
rainbow sprinkles. Never too old for rainbow sprinkles
Never
if you're
too
Eric
old,
Glazer.
Dude. There's an ice cream truck that rolls by my house like every day. And he'll literally stop like in front of our house and like be like, "Is he coming out? Do I have a customer today?"
Like
and
no kids, just you running down the block, fucking outrunning all the kids. I got my own money, bitch. Running down.
Every time I hear that shit, like, I'll be like, shit, do I have cash on me? Shit, no.
I literally play that song like mid-set now, dude. I can't stop playing that ice cream truck song, dude. Nobody ever likes it. Nobody ever likes it. Everybody's like, what song is this, dude?
Well, I don't want ice cream.
Nah, dude, I got my ice cream fixed for like the year, I think. I got the double scoop, cookies and cream, butter pecan, the classy and the sassy. Which the ice cream girl really liked that one, dude. She's a big fan, dude.
Yeah, like the 17-year-old ice cream counter girl fucking loved that. I just got a classic single scoop vanilla cone with some rainbow sprinkles.
I realize I've never been a
sparkles.
cone guy. I'm not a big cone guy.
I love cones. Cones are just so like reminiscent of like me growing up. I used to have like ice cream cones on deck because my mom would like them too, and I'd be like, "Ooh, I'm gonna sneak a cone real quick."
Yeah.
And dude, honestly, the cone's the best part of it.
Dude, I might have to disagree.
I smash all the ice cream in the cone, a little tiny scoop on top, and then I just smash the cone.
I think the whipped cream's the best part. And not many people go for whipped cream these days. Whipped cream is kind of falling out of fashion, I think.
Whipped cream, man, I'll take it or leave it. Usually leave it.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. I was handing out free advice at Baskin-Robbins all day, but she didn't listen, dude. I almost told that little 7-year-old girl how to get rid of a brain freeze.
On the way out, there's this little girl by the door drinking a milkshake, smacking the fuck out of her forehead.
I know. Like, that's not how you do
Just
it.
not understanding what a brain freeze is yet.
My brain is frozen. My
Why?
brain, it's rock solid.
Treating it like a fucking old school TV, trying to get a signal and shit. I had to like stop Jimmy. He was about to be like, "Hey, little girl, just get your tongue." And I was like, "We gotta go."
But like,
you're 26. You could not be doing this right now.
I just feel I get so much anxiety just speaking to children now. It's so weird. Like when those two girls walked in, like those two little girls, I like held the door. I was like, "You guys going in?" As they were going in.
After you two young women. Held the
Dad's
door for
like,
him.
"Dude, you better really fucking like ice cream. Why are you here?" Like,
we
dude,
saw you guys walk past and then try to open the door for my dog.
Yeah.
What is this all about?
It's like, dude, I came here for a soda, but I'm staying for the ladies. All fucking Baskin-Robbins got soda, got ice cream. All you need, if Baskin-Robbins starts selling cigs, dude, I'm there. I'm fucking there, dude.
Fucking mint chocolate chip cigs. Sassy with the classy.
Sir, you can't smoke in here.
You sell them here? You can't smoke them in here? What, are you going to tell me I can't eat my ice cream in here too? Sir, we don't even sell cigarettes here. Oh, now you're going to tell me you don't sell cigarettes?
It's one of the 31 flavors. Menthol, cookies and cream.
American Spirit. It's all natural one, right?
America's really going downhill. I tell you, you can't even smoke in a Baskin Robbins anymore, dude. Really ruining the ice cream industry.
Oh, shit.
This podcast is brought to you by Diet Mountain Dew. I found a surprise Mountain Dew in my fridge. Don't know how I got there.
I think you got that like the last time we were here.
I did.
Yeah.
I
Good
did.
thing, too.
I know. Because I crushed my other. We spent like 3 hours watching Conor McGregor highlights, which got me pumped. And then we watched Khabib highlights, which got me sad.
Now we got happy with some Norm Macdonald highlights.
Yeah, dude. Norm Macdonald's a fucking wild card, dude.
Yeah. I fucking love that dude. He's so fucking funny. Some people don't like him, and I don't get it.
I like him because, like, he's a comics comic. He's like I don't use the term Gonzo very often. In fact, I still don't quite know what it means.
Yeah, it's like a Muppet, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Gonzo's the name of a Muppet.
Yeah.
That's one definition. Back in the day,
That's one definition.
cleared one off the books.
Merriam-Webster.
Definition number 2, there was definitely a category of porn in the early 2000s called Gonzo porn.
I remember seeing those like clips, and I'd be like, I mean, I guess I'll check it out. I don't know what it means.
Gonzo. I just thought it
they
meant
got
fat
big
ass.
tits?
I thought Gonzo meant fat ass.
Is that a synonym for big old titties?
She's got kind of a Gonzo body. I can get down with that.
Apparently, it's like a journalism term.
I think it's a journalism that you insert yourself into the story, which works perfectly for porn, I guess.
It's like every backroom casting couch video.
Dude, backroom casting is Gonzo. Wow. Never thought about that.
That's some Gonzo shit, dude.
Damn.
I feel like any POV porn. I think any porn is Gonzo technically if you're counting yourself as being inserted into the porn.
Well, you self-Gonzo yourself. Unless you want
self-Gonzo.
Self-Gonzo. I insert myself into every porn story.
Yeah, dude. I'm Gonzo.
All right, so that's 3 definitions.
It's a post-Gonzo world we're living in, dude.
Nobody inserts themselves in the stories, dude. I realize that I've gotten so lazy with porn that I've gone almost fully into just compilations now. I just don't know how to mediate my time anymore. I don't have time. I don't have time. I don't have fucking time.
I don't have time to pick out the video, so I just
get
up like a shotgun splatter.
Yeah, exactly.
Different ones.
Exactly, dude. Like if you're watching YouTube, you want to see like 7 full fights in a row. You want to see fucking KOs back to back to back. Bow, 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 bow.
Jimmy's actually talking about jerking off to fight compilations.
I thought that's where we were taking it.
Yeah. He was jacking off the entire time we watched all 3 of those highlight reels. Connor, Khabib, and Norm.
I always feel weird because I habitually just have my hands down my pants when I'm sitting at the computer. And people just always roll up to the studio, and my hands are just down my pants, and I feel like they think I'm jerking off. But like I feel
they look at your screen, and you're just obviously watching like Joe Rogan. Like, interesting.
Exactly, because like when I see them walking in, my first move is to take my hands out of my pants abruptly.
That's guilty.
I know, and then I start like moving my computer screen around. Like, dude, this is more incriminating. Like. But I guess like what I should be doing is immediately clicking on porn so they don't think I'm jerking off the Joe Rogan podcast. That's what I should be doing. They walk in like, yeah, I walked in, Jimmy was jerking off, but that's not the worst of it. Jerking off to Joe Rogan talking about DMT for the 80th time. He really likes that shit. Joe Rogan DMT
Gonzo.
Comps, dude. Inserting myself in this
Dude,
story.
they're inserting themselves into your story.
That's true. Podcast.
They're being gonzo, dude.
Dude.
You're getting gonzoed.
I feel like the podcast is the ultimate form of gonzo journalism.
True.
Because every week we take our fucking relatively eventless lives and then make a story out of it.
And then people pretend they're sitting here listening to it with us.
Exactly.
Hey, and thanks for coming through. Thanks for
guys.
hanging out, y'all.
Thanks, guys. We fixed the mics this week for anybody listening.
Ooh, big shout out.
Yeah. I talked to Henry today. He came through. We went to Szechuan House. I got Szechuan pork. I figured it was their specialty.
Yeah.
And I said it was going to be spicy. Szechuan House has a very bad metric on spiciness because
I feel like all restaurants do because they don't want to like blast out fucking average white people.
Exactly. But the thing is, so I like spicy food. I think I like spicy food.
I love spicy food.
I like Indian food. I like spicy stuff. But Szechuan House, you get something, they measure it off a little chili peppers next to it. So if it has no peppers next to it, it's not spicy. If it has one pepper next to it, it's apparently spicy. But nothing that has one pepper next to it is actually spicy. So one time I got jalapeno beef, and it had 2 peppers next to it. The only item on the menu that had 2 peppers. And I was thinking, like, dude, there's no fucking way this is going to be spicy. Because one pepper, I can't even taste any spice. Dude, I couldn't eat. It was literally just sliced jalapenos. Just that. It was just sliced jalapenos cooked and then like a couple shreds of beef.
Yeah, that sounds good though.
Dude, it had potential to be good if they put anything else in it. But they didn't. They were like, it's 2 peppers. I was like, oh shit. There's a lot more than 2 in this bitch, dude. This is a lot of peppers. This is 100% peppers. But I called up the loan officer today to describe my Henry was like, yeah, like, I'm not really the person that you're going to want to talk to about financials for the house and stuff because, like, it's none of my business. I was like, dude, Henry, we've known each other since 7th grade. I'm a piece of shit. Like, I'm not, like, this isn't going to come as a surprise to you when I have a less than modest income. And so I talked to this dude at his team, and, dude, there is no more, like, way to feel like a joke than when you're describing your financials to a guy who just clearly makes more money than you.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's like trying to hide his opinion of how much of a joke you are. And so he's like, so how long have you been self-employed? And I'm like, oh, about 1.5 years. And he's like, ooh, yeah, we're looking for 2 years of self-employment. And he was like, well, what do your tax returns say? I was like, oh, my tax returns only showing 6 months. And he was like, oh, well, how much did you make? And I was like, after deductions, and I was just I was like, I don't know. I think I made like 17 before, but then I just deducted like a whole bunch of stuff, and then I don't think I showed like anything. And he was like, and I could just sense over the phone that he was just like, dude, you're a fucking clown. You are a clown. And I was just like, just as a curveball way to save it, I was like, but I was thinking about maybe involving my brother. I think we were going to apply together. He was like, oh, great. What does he do? And I was like, he's a waiter.
Wait. Add a nice steakhouse. It's like, oh, I'm listening.
Yeah, that was the first time I ever tried to like talk up my brother. I was like, well, it's downtown. He works downtown.
All those big buildings.
He works in a very big
money
building
down there. It's around him.
All he's got to do is catch it. Just go and find it. But yeah, but I mean, that's his job. Henry said, look, they're in the business of making loans, so they'll make it work. And I'm like, dude, I wish this was fucking 2008 when they just give a loan to anybody.
For real, right?
They could just be like,
dude, I would have like 8 houses by now.
I know, dude. Me too. Me too.
Dude, we should have gotten houses when we were in high school.
I know. That's when it was really popping, dude. That's when it was really popping. Those are the fucking days. What was I thinking when I was 15 years old? What was I fucking thinking?
Fucking not jerking off to compilations like a schmuck.
That's why. If I would have just spent less time finding good porn and just jerked on the fucking compilations, I would have way more time to explore the market, get my bread up, open up a savings account today. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to open up a savings account. And the guy was like, all right.
He's like, wait, you don't have one?
I was like, well, I haven't actually saved any money until now. So I figured now would be the time to do it. And I was like, what's the difference? He was like, one is checking, and that's like where you can like,
He's explaining bank accounts to you. Yeah. It's like he just like has
and he just like reset the names.
Yeah, there's a savings. That's where you keep the money.
I'm like, hold on, backtrack. What do you mean by saving the money? Can you explain that concept to me? He's like, yeah, you get the money and you just keep it. Oh.
You're like, wait.
Hold
You
up.
didn't tell me.
Hold up. But then how do I spend it, dude?
So that's a checking account.
So you tell me
more up my
when I run
alley.
out of stuff in my checking account, I check my savings and then I fucking spend out of there. And I was like, so if I'm buying a house soon and I'm like in there in the same outfit I'm in there right now, like gym shorts and a t-shirt,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
like, oh yeah, you buying a house soon? I was like, actually, I think I am.
I hope so.
I think I might.
With
And that's
your
another thing I
help.
was meaning to tell you guys about. I have great credit. I have a $6,000 limit. He's like, houses are $180,000. I was like, oh, okay, damn. So I fucking go in there and I'm like, so I'm gonna start the savings account, but probably in like 2 months, I'm just gonna have to take everything out of it to put a down payment on a house. So does that make sense? And he was like, no, but I could still open one for you. I was like, okay, sure. He was like, it's always good to have, good for discipline. I was like, dude, all right, whatever, bro, whatever. What the fuck ever. So now I have a savings account.
Hell yeah. Dude, fucking level up.
They
dude.
recommend the savings account. He was like, the savings account I think works best for you is our relationship savings account. I was like, dude, I broke up with my girlfriend in February. So what does this mean? He was like, oh, that's just what we call it. Why? Why do you call that this? I literally saw before last night online. I was like studying through the accounts and I saw like relationship savings account. I was like, it's not for me. It's not for me.
They're
You guys
like,
have
we got
a
something for you. What does that mean? I've never even heard of that.
I don't know. He was just like, that's just what we recommend for people in your like level. And I was like, oh, okay.
But what's the significance of having one of those opposed to a regular savings account?
I don't know. I have no clue.
Just took this dude's word on it.
Yeah, dude, he works at a bank. He knows more than me.
Yeah, I guess.
He's like, that's just what we call it. Whatever. Whatever. Okay, dude, fine. I'll open up a relationship savings. So I put some money in there, and soon to be taking it out.
I've been saving it so far.
I know. I'm getting some interest on it, getting that point. Dude, savings accounts, there's literally no point to it when you think about it. Because
You get like dividends at the end of the year or whatever, but it's
here's the
like
thing.
very minuscule.
somebody explain this to me. And this is where I think separates the boys from the men when it comes to financials. And this is when I realized my family has permanently resided on the
boys.
the boys. We are the lower side of middle class. And there's one reason why. Because we never discovered investing. We never invested. Because when
yeah.
you think about it, a savings account, currently, the average annual percent yield on a savings account is 0.08%. That means for every $100 you put in a savings account, make sure I'm saying this right, 8%. For every $100 you put in a savings account, you accrue 8 cents over the course of a year.
Yeah.
Now, the rate of inflation averages out to like sometimes 2 to 3% annually. So that means if you're keeping money in a savings account,
You're losing money.
you're losing money.
Yeah.
You're losing money. So I was like, so basically what you're saying is the only way to make sure that the money that you have saved or to make sure that the money that you have accrued is keeping up with the current rate of the economy is by investing. I guess. Right?
Yes. Yeah. But I mean, I guess that's why people invest in property and other financial things.
I don't know, dude. I want to invest, dude.
know.
My fucking I
I'm
have
an
a,
idiot when that comes to that shit.
yeah, dude, I don't know how that. I mean, no, nobody in my family's ever told me to do it. You know?
I've just listened to my mom and some of this, like the things that I actually have done. Like I set up a I don't think it's a 401k, but it's like one of those accounts. I have like an account
Like an
with
IRA,
Scott
retirement
Trade
account?
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I have like I think I put like 5k in.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, I don't have that anymore.
Yeah, you can't touch it until you're like
Can't touch-
80.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, I guess it's working for me. Like, it's like it's diversified in a bunch of like different stocks or whatever that I chose.
Mm-hmm.
And like, as those accrue, it'll stay in that account. And I still need to set up the function where it reinvests the stuff that I've made into other things.
Yes, you do.
but also at the same time, I'm like, yo, mom, but what do I do though? 'Cause I still have no idea what any of that shit does.
Little financial advice for anybody that cares. I put last year on a whim. I put $1,000 into a retirement account, a Roth IRA.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I got.
Yeah, a Roth IRA.
Yeah,
now, there's two different types of IRAs. There is the standard IRA.
There's the boy one.
The boy one, and the men's one. And in the standard IRA, you contribute to the account, the retirement account. By the way, I think it stands for individual retirement account. So it's good for like self-employed people, people that don't have 401ks at their jobs. You put it in there. And I think there's a maximum of $5,500 per year that you can contribute. And I completely lost my train of thought. Oh, you get to deduct on your taxes each year your contributions to your IRA. However, when you pull out of your IRA, when the time comes, when it matures, which I think you can't pull out of it until you're like 59 and a half years old or something, you get taxed on it at that point. Now, a Roth IRA, you don't get to deduct your contributions at the time that you contribute, but you don't, so you get taxed on, even though you didn't use it, you put it in an account, but you don't get taxed on it when you pull out when you're like 60 or whatever. And I was like, dude, if I'm not in a higher tax bracket when I'm 60 than when I'm 23, I'm fucked anyway. I'm gonna need that money, you know? Yeah. So like, I was just like, why would I pay like evade 10% taxes now if when I'm like 60, I'll probably be like a billionaire. So I'll just like avoid all that shit and just not pay my whatever the fuck tax rate will be in 2060, probably like 98%. I don't even fucking know what the fuck direction we're going. But like I went with that. And I checked it. I just put $1,000 in a year ago. I checked it last night. It's up to $1,092.
Hey.
10% yield right there, dude. Did the math.
Way more than a savings account, dude.
10% yield. I did the math. If it keeps compounding 10% return every year, by 2060, it'll be $60,000.
There you go.
It's $1,000 right there into $60,000. That's what you got to be doing.
And then you can live off that for 1 year.
Exactly. It'll be worth nothing at that point. Like, damn. Should not have lived the last 50 years of my life off of a decision I made when I was 23 years old. That was a bad move. I thought I would have grown up. But I'm just 59 and a half.
And I think that's the point of like continually investing into that because it'll keep working for you, and you know you got to spend money to make money.
It's true.
But also at the same time, I would kind of like that money right now.
I know, dude. I feel like every now and then I'll just think back on that $1,000. I'm like, ooh, I can really use that $1,000 right now. Yeah. That'd be awesome. But I just did it because I felt like jealous of my other friends that did it. And then like, not jealous, but I felt mad that nobody ever told me to do it. I was like, nobody told me to do this. This is bullshit. So I did it, even though all my other friends that did it make like astronomically more money than me and like can actually afford to do it. But I was just like, well, I got a retirement account too.
Yeah.
You know, I'm probably never going to retire at this rate.
No, I would have liked that money.
Yeah.
No, my mom was like, you just got to do this. I'm like, all right.
You got a good mom, dude.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, money.
Peace.
See ya.
Fucking taking all. Should have just invested in Bitcoin when that was hot, dude.
I should have invested in that shit when I heard about it in high school and it was $20. And I wouldn't have had to worry about money.
I know. See, that's the thing that's annoying about Bitcoin is like, the way, because I kind of talked about this with Henry today because we were looking at houses, and he was like, so one of the houses that we're looking at is on Clear Spring, right under the city line, North Baltimore, like almost
Selling it for Bitcoin.
Yeah, and it's going for $189,000, and he was like, well, let me check the last selling price, and the last time it sold was in 2007 for $289,000.
Ooh, right at the bubble.
Yeah, and he was like, yeah, this sold at the peak of the market when they were just bidding against themselves. And I was like, ooh, that's a cool expression. So basically, you could sell a house for any price because everybody thought that property value was just going to keep on going up. But it's like, it's so crazy how humans work that it's like, why do we not understand the concept that shit just can't keep going up forever? Like, that was the whole thing when I saw with Bitcoin. It's like, dude, if you're talking about a stock market, if you're talking about a stock bubble, once everybody knows about it, it's about to pop.
Yeah.
Like, the average kid who has a job at fucking, like, some marketing agency fresh out of college is not an investment expert. So if you just graduated from college and you just caught wind of this great investment opportunity, chances are you're late to the fucking bus. Chances are you're not going to experience any of the growth that all the people, because basically the whole concept of how stocks work, the way I gathered it, is like the more, especially with Bitcoin, because it's not like a real value. It's like based off of like, I mean, neither is dollars, but whatever. But like the more people talk it up, the more valuable it becomes.
Yeah.
So but it reaches like a critical mass, and then it just goes down. So it's like, I guess I would just like see all these people investing, and I was like, dude, I don't fucking know. Unless you got into that shit in like 2015, like right before everybody started talking about it, I feel like it was just like, what's the fucking point? And I don't even know if cryptocurrency, I don't know what's going to happen with that. I don't know if it's going to become like the main thing of transaction, because right now it's literally just a commodity, right?
I mean, some online marketplaces take it as a currency, but also it's such a volatile thing that people don't really want to take it anymore.
Yeah.
Like, it was all good when it was going up, but now it's, you know, it's petered out, evened out a little bit, and now people are like, I don't know.
Well, that's the whole thing about the concept of the technical term is called arbitration, I think, which is the trading of currencies as a form of investment. And so the old form of that was like basically like monitoring exchange rates between countries and like moving all your money to like euros and then waiting for the dollar to plummet and then trading it back for dollars and then waiting for dollars to go back. And that's how people would make money. But the whole concept of that is like Bitcoin itself is a currency. So you're investing in another currency, but the only way that you're going to make money off of it is when you trade it back into the other currency. So like when people say like, oh, one Bitcoin is worth $2,000, that's kind of like an oxymoron to me, because it's like Bitcoin, it's like nobody's sitting there going like, oh, $2,000 is worth one Bitcoin. Like the only way you're going to extract value from it is when you get that fucking Bitcoin back in the form of $2,000. So as long as we maintain that mentality, then eventually Bitcoin is going to lose value, because because the actual value of Bitcoin as a trading commodity. You know what I'm saying? Is anything I'm saying making sense? The actual value of it as a trading commodity is not anywhere close to $2,000. It's just the assumed value. But once the hype goes down, it's just going to go down to its actual value again, unless it takes over, and then all of a sudden it's fucking great. I don't fucking know anything. I have a savings account, guys. I'm a fucking expert. So.
You're an expert now, dude. You're a relationship savings
fucking
account.
Modern Peter Schiff over here. Fucking Milton Friedman on this podcast. Tax the rich. Whatever. I don't fucking know.
Something. I'm not rich. I don't care if they get taxed.
Yeah, dude. Tax. I don't care what they do. Just don't tax me so much. I don't fucking...
I need that money.
I know, dude.
Don't tax my ass. I need that ass.
Did you watch the governor debate?
No, I've heard some things about it, though.
Yeah, me neither. I was actually kind of hoping you did.
I was hoping to lead you back into it.
That's when I go,
okay.
Matter of fact, I did.
And big stuff. Let's just keep going like we watched it.
Yeah.
So can you believe? All right. So, things started off. It was pretty,
what you'd expect.
Pretty cordial,
Uh-huh.
They exchanged pleasantries. They're up on podiums, I assume. Talking. They had a moderator.
Yeah, obviously.
As you do in debates and such. It was a debate, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, good.
It was a debate.
And, I think it was, Hogan was talking for a while.
But then Ben Jealous.
Started
fucking
just
talking.
Came in.
Yeah.
He came in and he took Hogan to task.
He took him to task.
He's a little task rabbit over there, hopping around. And I think the real question that all of us Maryland citizens are asking right now is who actually watched it?
And where can we find it?
What channel was it on? I don't have it. I don't have cable.
Was it on the W net? Was it on CW? What channel?
Is it on CNBC?
I feel like we should have been able to find it on YouTube. I tried to find it. I can find anything else on YouTube. I can find a video of me making a fleshlight on YouTube, but I cannot find the fucking Maryland 2018 governor's debate on YouTube.
Is it really not on there?
I don't think so. I looked for
shit.
it. I don't think it's on there. I don't think
Did
it's
you
on.
see Did you see Trump had that speech at the UN today?
Yes, I heard about it. Again, I did not see it.
I watched the first minute of it to see if everyone laughed at him, and indeed they did.
They did.
He said like 2 words, and then the place laughed, and he was like, I didn't expect that response. In his classic quick wit, and then they all laughed again, and then I was like, all right, I'm not smart enough to watch this. And I closed
dude.
it.
I don't know. I was watching it. We don't have cable at the house, and so our only options are like TV shows from 1924 or Netflix or The View for some reason.
The View.
The View.
The 24/7 View network.
The View channel. It's like an auxiliary channel. It's like channel 23-4.
Yeah.
What? Why do we get this, but I can't get Monday Night Football?
24 hours of Whoopi laughing maniacally.
And Barbara Walters be like, I can't believe it. Oh my God. It's just watching like postmenopausal women just having the worst opinions on everything, and I just can't fucking stand it. I feel like Bill Burr watching it, and I'm just sitting there, and it's just like drinking my coffee at like 12:30 noon. I'm just like, these guys got to get it together. These guys got to do something. But it's just like, and then it cuts to the local news, and it's just so fucking like, to me, I'm sorry. To me, it's so blatantly spun at this point that like I can't even like literally
what,
they
the
just
View?
play. No, obviously the View. Obviously the View is not a neutral zone. But even like local news, like CBS News, it might have been national news. I think it was national news. But like they play like a 2-second clip, and then it just immediately cuts to this news anchor one, and the president boasting in front of world leaders. Blah, blah, blah. They just every fucking thing is the worst fucking thing. That it's like, I almost can't even. I haven't taken it seriously for a while.
I don't know. That's like every single news network, though.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's all of them.
Because it got turned into like 24/7 news, so now everything is a talking point, even down to like, like Ben Jealous. Okay, so I like Ben Jealous. He seems like a nice guy. I saw him speak at Morgan when Chappelle came to do the talk with him, because they're like god brothers or something, and they grew up together, and he seems like a great guy. But it was funny. I saw like this Hogan ad like attacking him on Facebook, because every day now I just see Hogan ads on my Facebook feed, and I'm like, I didn't even like this guy on Facebook. Why am I seeing this shit? Like, I want to see his big dumb face every day. Like, I applaud him for overcoming cancer, but
yeah, nice job,
at the end of the day, are you taxing me? I feel like you're taxing me, bro. And but like the Hogan ad was like attacking Ben Jealous, and they took one clip from him on like a Talking Heads interview on like NBC or some shit, where they literally just have him be like, and I don't give a crap, and then it's like, Ben Jealous doesn't give a crap. Larry Hogan gives a crap. Vote for Larry Hogan in 2018 elections. It's like, is this really what political ads have become?
Dude,
like,
it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Like, at least just play out the whole clip, because I'm sure it's like, I don't give a crap if, you say I'm a bad guy for wanting legal weed or some bullshit. Like
legal weed.
He doesn't give a crap.
Yeah, it's silly. I actually played a campaign event for Republican Baltimore County executive candidate Al Redmer. He seems like a very nice guy. He knew my dad. Laughingly.
Oh, no. Your dad got UN trumped, dude.
Yeah, exactly. I played the event with Mike Manos, which is always a fucking trip. And after the show, I'm like, hey. He was like, hey, you guys did a great job. Thank you so much for doing this. And I was like, hey, my dad, Tony Celeste. He was like, That's your dad?
Oh, no.
I was like, actually, yes, it is. Actually, now that you mention it, it is. That is my father. That is my father. That is half of my genetics. He raised me.
Laughing at half of me right now.
And Irene Selesky.
You got the double laugh, dude.
Gosh. Irene,
You're their kid.
the two of them had a child, and it's you. And you're playing at this event for me. While your dad is currently running for Baltimore County Executive. Yes, sir, that is all correct. It's all correct.
All right, you have my check?
Yes. This is coming directly out of your campaign fund, yes? My dad put me up to this. Oh man. Yeah, that shit's all ludicrous.
It's all just stupid, and I just don't want to care about any of it.
The thing that really has
I
me
just don't give a shit about anything
the thing
political.
that is beyond me right now, and look, it's always a touchy subject whenever you talk about it, but I just feel as if, like, with the whole, like, Kavanaugh thing that's going on right now, you familiar with that?
Yeah, you got fucking Facebook memed by Floyd into thinking like people are just throwing rape allegations out.
Well, the thing is like, it's not like, if I'm just looking at it, if I take a step back and I'm just watching how this whole thing happens, and so you have a guy who's nominated. I never heard of him before. I feel like most people had never heard of him before he was brought to the national spotlight.
Still don't know who he is.
Exactly. He's just a fucking lawyer who's been doing a bunch of shit. He worked in the Clinton administration or something. I don't know, Bush administration. One of the things. He did some stuff, and then he's nominated in 2018 for this thing, and he gets this hearing, and they're all blah, blah, blah. And then right before he's about to be nominated, out of the blue, out of nowhere, just saying, this is kind of what happened, all of a sudden, there is a sexual misconduct allegation that took place in the mid-'80s. Now, that the age of them has nothing to do with it. People say things like, oh, it was 17, blah, blah, blah. That has nothing to do with it. But it's just like, does it not strike anybody as mildly odd that at the timing of how all this stuff happens? And then so you have this allegation that comes out, and there's little to no. First of all, again, this is the shitty thing, in my opinion, about these types of allegations, because an accusation is so damning in so many ways that, like, first of all, we mentioned it before, it's almost like considered uncouth to even question it. But at the same time, it's like, well, literally, we kind of exist in a time where I almost feel like these allegations have been weaponized in a way. Like, when you throw out some misconduct allegation from 36 years ago, at the exact time when he's about to be nominated, as a way to derail the nomination process, which what other reason would it have had? Why didn't it happen last year, the year before that? And then it's just like, to me, I feel like that's at least strange. Would you not consider that kind of strange? Questionable?
Now, I know what you're all thinking right now. You came to live from the studio for the political discourse. You came to us to hear the truths that you won't hear on The Daily Show. The fucking political sphere. And you came to the straight facts of live from the studio.
Facts. Spitting all facts.
Two college dropouts in a garage trying to tell you political.
Look, I'm not dropping.
I know, but I'm just saying.
I know, I'm not dropping facts. I'm dropping an honest opinion that I feel like is a legitimate opinion. Like, why is it that these things, like, I just feel like all of a sudden these things didn't used to happen like this. Like, it wasn't like every other fucking day there was an allegation, but now I almost
think
feel
I think it's like the hot button topic or whatever, so anything in that realm is going to be, put under the spotlight.
Yeah.
And I'm sure in the past these allegations have come up, but then
I don't think they have. I think this was the first thing that ever came up, and it was something about, like, being at a party or whatever. And then I saw this article today where I saw, like, a couple of my former teachers from high school, great guys, by the way. They shared this article about how they examined Brett Kavanaugh's yearbook. And in his yearbook, they had this on like one of the yearbook pages. They had like on all.
Can't believe you almost raped that girl. Have a great summer.
Hope this doesn't pop up in 36 years. Fucking, there was this thing that said Renata alumni, RENATE. It was the name of a girl, and it was written on like the pictures of certain guys in the yearbook.
Yeah.
And it was kind of implied that they had this joke that all these dudes who had all, I guess, supposedly banged the same girl in high school had a name for their group of friends they called the Renata alumni. And I was just thinking back to like, and then I saw like all these people saying like, this is the actions of a predator, blah blah blah, all this stuff, and I was just thinking back to like us in high school and just the way that we
didn't get ass.
Yeah, but also like
thank God.
But also like if we're gonna seriously act here, if we're gonna seriously sit here and act like they were just basically making like these like crude jokes about certain girls, like the same way girls will say shit about guys or whatever, like girls in their yearbooks across their face, fucking douchebag, little dick, blah 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 blah. Everybody does that shit. You're 18 years old. You're in high school, and I just remember like seeing all these teachers being like, this blah 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 blah, and I'm like, dude, I was 18 once. And we used to say the most outlandish shit about literally not just girls. We used to make fun of fucking everyone, dude. We used to make fun of fucking handicapped. Not like to their face, but like I'm just being honest. I'm not proud of it, but we used to make jokes about literally everyone. And like I almost feel like when people talk about these issues, they're like acting like it's not in the same world that.
Yeah, they're acting like they've been an adult their entire life.
Yeah, it's like, dude, I'm sorry, you were never 18, and we're sitting at your friend's house and talking about, oh yeah, you heard about her.
But also,
about Lizzie, you never. Yeah,
I remember being 18 and not wanting to like sexually assault people too.
Yeah, but again, the thing that bugged me about it was that they were taking this yearbook gag or whatever. Like, dude, I could read you Mahedi's yearbook writing in what Mahedi wrote me in my senior yearbook. I could read that alone in 36 years, and it would disqualify me from every job for the rest of my life. Just one entry. And to say that when I'm 50-something years old, like, I was just, like, addressing that as a separate thing from the allegations. The thing that I'm saying is I still come from a place where, and I know this is a crazy concept now in 2018, I believe in the concept of innocence until proof of guilt. And I don't think that the mere circumstantial throwing out of, well, he says he did, she says he did this, and then some other people come out and say, well, I don't remember that, and another person comes out and says, well, I think I might remember that party, and another person says, I don't remember that party ever happening, from 1984, and then all of a sudden, I'm supposed to just go, oh, well, I guess. Because the thing is, this is a scary thing. You could do it to anyone. Yeah,
no. It's definitely like a modern day like Salem witch trial scenario. Like,
yes.
It's just
Bingo.
It's guilty before proven, whatever. But
guilty by accusation.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'm just not smart enough to even be talking about this shit.
I feel you, dude. I feel you. Look.
Also, I haven't read into any of this. I don't really care. I feel like anyone nominated for Supreme Court is just like a death sentence because they're all old as shit.
Yeah.
They're like basically getting in as like, all right, you did it. You lived long enough. This is something that happens for people who live long enough. Have fun for the next 6 months of your life before you die. Like,
I clearly remember from long ago, 90 episodes ago.
But also, let's just say this. Do you want someone who potentially is a shitty person like that making the most extreme rules in our country?
Well,
but also, on the other side of the coin,
do you want...
I was going to make a bad joke.
Well, the other side of that coin would be, do you want to live in a country where anyone can be disqualified for anything by simply getting one person to come out and say this thing happened 35 years ago, and then having everybody go, well, I believe it, so he's done? and this just is just icing on the cake.
I
and
think
so
that
no.
I think the main reason why accusations stick to some people more so than others too is just like, I don't know, if Brett Kavanaugh, that's his name, right? If he was like a fucking dope dude, if he, if he just like lived his whole life being an upstanding dude, everyone respected him, everyone had the highest opinions of him. If this allegation came out, people would just put it to the wayside and be like, no, he would never do that shit. The only reasons it's sticking is because that allegation came up and then people are like, ah, shit, yeah, that guy, I always saw something was off about him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but also at the same time, like I feel like people go out and like, for instance, like a lot of like the other woman, like the New Yorker, like went out and like just was like calling people up and just basically like trying to dig up dirt on them. They get like some other woman to say like and then all of a sudden they get one person that had like, I guess they found the yearbook, and then the same woman who like signed. There was 64 women that signed like a letter like saying like he's of good character, like 64 women, and one of those was that Renata chick, that chick, yeah. And then like now she's out there like, well, I wasn't aware of that joke that they had, blah 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 blah. I'm just like, oh my god, like you literally just said he was a good dude, and now like you guys were friends all through high school. You signed a letter saying vouching for his character, that he's a good guy. Like you've known him his entire life, and you said he's a good guy, and you find out about this little fucking joke that they had going on, like the same shit we would be like Ashley Mears or something like that. And now you're gonna fucking like to me it just seems, I don't know. It just I don't fucking like it, and I feel like a lot of it's being made into a political weapon. And it was almost, to me, it was like, if I'm looking at it from a timeline, it's like, okay, we get this guy through the hearing. He looks like he's going to get nominated, and then right before he's about to get nominated, boom, bombshell. And then now that derails it, now it's postponed for longer. And it's like, anybody who can look at that and not see something sketchy about that, I don't know. To me, it's just like, to me, you have to be living in a world where like you're not connecting dots to be able to look at that and be like, oh, well, it's just coincidence, I guess. I don't know, just how it goes.
I mean, it's definitely a thing that was probably like, a fucking dead man switch on him getting the nomination or whatever.
Oh yeah.
But at the same, I don't know, it's hard too, because like your fucking like brain regenerates whatever, like the memory part of it every like 20 years, or not 20, but like something like 12 or something. So like all of your memories that you think you have are all just like, they're almost like made up.
Yeah.
Right? Like if something that happened to us in elementary school, we don't actually remember it, but we make up the memory in our head as we remember it.
Okay.
So I don't know. There's something to say with that being like, all right, like this happened 40 some years ago for that guy. And I think like like he was like belligerently drunk or something, and like it seemed like a high school party. Hijinks went down
in Maryland, by the way.
Everyone's
Bethesda.
trying to remember what happened, but then also outside influences of people telling the story like, oh yeah, I think I do remember it like that, or no, I don't remember it like that.
Yeah.
I think I remember having. So it's, it is a he said, she said thing, but also at the same time,
I just see it happening. Like,
I don't know.
I'm scared that like that it could just be done to anyone, and I feel like at a certain point there has to be some type of line drawn in the sand of like what is incriminating and what isn't. Because until we draw that line in the sand, then anyone can be incriminated for anything that anyone says, and at that point, then basically, like nothing will ever get done, because if there's a Supreme Court nomination or a presidential candidate or this, that, the other thing, then it's just going to be, it's another one of those things like you were talking about with the fucking Larry Hogan ad with Ben Jealous with the clip that says I don't give a crap. Like, it's the same type of mentality. Like, they're going through shit and taking stuff either out of context or embellishment or anything like that, and they're using it to pose a false image of this other person in order to manipulate the voters or anybody that they're trying to get over on. And to me, it's like, we can't have this society where it's like, okay, well, anytime anybody says anything, that disqualifies that person because anybody can say anything. Dude, I'm telling you, like, I don't know. I just don't like it. I don't like it. And it has nothing to do with politics for me. I think personally, if you were to ask me, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that he's Trump. Obviously, almost all of it has to do with the fact that he's Trump's nominee, I would say. That's just my opinion. Because I feel like anything Donald Trump does is, again, the worst thing fucking ever. Whether you like him or not, it's just like, I don't think the guy's done one thing that wasn't made out in the media to be the worst thing ever. And then, of course, Fox News, the opposite, and everything he does is the best thing ever. But it's just like, and I like, you're right, because they are competing with internet news sources. Like these mainstream media platforms, all of them, not just the liberal ones, not just the conservative ones, all of them, in my opinion, have lost their credibility because they are losing the battle to these, I guess, independent or internet platforms that are getting far more views and having far more influence. And so they're just in an effort, just like any other TV show or anything like that, they're just constantly trying to make these fucking stories. But the difference between a newscast and a television show is that people understand that that an episode of Shameless isn't real. But when these news organizations are doing essentially, in my opinion, kind of the same thing on a lot of different topics, people think that shit's real. And they think that we're like falling into like an apocalypse or something like that. When in reality, it's just like, dude, it's not. Like none of the shit, like the world's not ending. None of the shit that, like, I remember when like I said 90 episodes ago when Trump was elected and we were sitting here and I was like, yeah, man, we were both like, yeah, I can't wait till everything just settles down and everybody's just over it and we can just go back to just having a president that nobody talks about. But it's like, and don't get me wrong, Trump definitely adds to it because he just says some ridiculous shit.
Yeah.
A lot of it's pretty funny, in my opinion. I love watching Trump compilations, first of all. Let me just put that out.
It's the other
there.
thing you beat off to.
Yeah, Trump compilations, self Gonzo. But it's just like, whatever, dude. It's not settling down, and I don't think it's ever going to settle down. I wouldn't be surprised if next year it was even worse, and I don't think it's going to get better until
It's not going to be better until he's out of office and like man, it's just like I just don't care. Like I just like happy shit. I like funny shit, and it's just not even funny anymore. It's like people just are so like people get so upset with everything he says, everything everyone else says. It's like, I don't know, man. I just wish there were more fucking stories about like, and today's final story, a pig saves a puppy out of a pond, and we have the clip here. And it's like a little pig swimming in the pond, like, and there's a puppy like, and then the pig like swims over and pushes the puppy out of the pond. And you're like, oh man, that was nice. That's the shit I like. That's just what I want to see.
I do like that shit, dude. And then you have fucking Facebook. Has this happened to you yet? When you try to share something on Facebook, it'll like before it allows you to share it, it'll pop up this thing and it says like, actually, this meme has been like debunked, and it like redirects you to Snopes.com.
No, I haven't.
Has that happened to you?
No. What kind of memes are you sharing, dude?
There was so stuff that's been debunked. Floyd's memes,
bunked ass memes, dude.
Fucking debunking memes and shit. Like apparently memes are like, I heard in England they're like outlawed or something like that.
Really?
Yeah, you can't share like memes anymore because they're like
first the guns, then the knives, now the memes.
Dude, once you take away the memes from the people, dude, that's gotta be something, dude.
That's what happened in the Arab Spring. They took the memes away. Gaddafi took the memes away, and
they did say that all was caused by internet video.
Dude.
They did say that.
Yeah.
That was Hillary Clinton's
it went to
excuse.
Snopes, and it said that was true.
It's just like, holy shit, dude, you're taking away that shit. That's the only thing Facebook's good for anymore is memes. Like, remember back in the day, Facebook used to be like you would post like original content, and like I remember like back in the day when I was like a likeonomics expert. And I would be like, well, you can't share something because if you share something, it doesn't show up in the edge ranking as high as an original post. And that's why you, of course, do the, when you posted your music video for Thunder Club, shouts out Thunder Club, you post the picture and then you post the link to the video, right? Yeah. Because it gets way more.
Or like a clip of the video, but then a link to
Mm-hmm.
the actual full video.
Yeah. But Facebook kind of goes in cycles. 'Cause I remember back when we were in high school, the big thing on Facebook was just liking pages that were like basically you would like a page and the page would be like trying to get to the microwave before it reaches 0 or something like that.
Yeah.
And you would just like somebody would make a page. It was like some weird demented form of like pre-meme shit.
Yeah.
And we would like be like just like making a page that would essentially be a meme.
Yeah.
But you would just like the page, and then you'd like check your like page likes, and you just like 13,000 pages of just
hasn't fucked a goat, and you like it, and then you wait to see if anyone unlikes that page, and you're like, ooh.
We did that for we created a group called V4L, which I think is gone now. I think.
Yeah, dude, rest in peace.
Or rest in peace, V4L.
Unless Sean's still in there, I don't know. Who knows?
He
Dude.
might still if guys don't count, Sean might still be in it. Sean might still be in it.
Yeah, I love that guy though.
I love Sean Malmstrom
Such
too.
a good boy.
It was cool because he deleted me on Facebook, but then he works at this place I used to play at, and we like sat at the bar next to each other and talked for like 3 hours. And I was like, he was like, we should hang out sometime, and I was like, cool. I was like, oh, by the way, I'm gonna add you on Facebook. He's like, don't add me on Facebook. We should hang out sometime. I was like, all right, fine, Sean, whatever. What the fuck ever, Sean. Fucking.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, social media has ruined our society.
And friendships.
But, where else are you going to get those memes? You know what I mean?
Exactly, dude. The only way you can share a meme, like, you can really tell a lot about a person by the memes they share. In fact, that's how I know most people. Most of the people that influence my life the most, I don't talk to at all in daily life. But that's only because I only talk to, like, my brother and you and, like, but, like, on a daily basis, the only person I talk to on a daily basis is, like, I don't know if I talk to anybody on a daily basis anymore. So all of the people I know, I just, like, know, hey, that guy shares funny memes. But I also know, like, his entire political opinion based off the memes he shares. I know his sense of humor. And I almost feel like it would be weird if I were to ever meet these people in like real life, kind of like internet dating or something like that, where it's like, oh shit, remember that meme you shared?
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Pretty good meme, boy.
I don't fucking know, dude. Did you watch the Elon Musk podcast?
I did, yeah,
that was good
with Rogo.
Was.
I mean, he definitely brought up a bunch of shit where I was like, man, this guy is really smart.
Yeah.
Like talking about like his fix for like LA traffic with like the tunnel system and shit. And he's like talking about like, yeah, we've built our society in a 3D plane, but still use 2D transportation.
Smart.
And that's why it's all fucked up. And it's like, damn, that's smart, dude.
But that was like in the 60s, everybody was like, oh, we're going to get rid of that. And in Futurama as well, they all thought we were going to have hover cars. But in reality, we're digging underground, which, I mean, it could, dude, that would be sick, honestly.
That'd be cool.
It'd be cool if you could just take, like, I always thought about, like, what if there was just a road that, like basically, like, beltway exits where, like, you could get to a toll lane, and then basically there would just be a whole big thing of tunnels, like 30 tunnels. And you'd be like, are you going to Canton? Are you going to Fells? Are you going to Hampton? Are you going to this? Hop on the tunnel, go straight there. Pop out on
through.
fucking Roland Avenue. Pop out on fucking Thames Street. That'd be fucking sick.
That'd be sick.
But Baltimore doesn't have a fucking subway yet, so I doubt we're getting our fucking
We have a
underground.
subway, but it's like 2 stops.
Yeah, 2 stops. You want to get from West Baltimore to more West Baltimore. That's all you got here.
I'm gonna get to Penn North to the harbor. Can I just take the light rail or the bus? No, you could take the subway too.
You could if you want to get killed.
Do you want to go underground?
No one can hear you scream.
Underground where the rats rule.
Dude, the craziest thing about the Elon Musk thing that I thought was the dopest thing when he was talking about the artificial intelligence and how, and this is the thing when Elon Musk talks, because like I feel like everybody just kind of looks to him as like the decider of what's going to happen in the future. Because like, well, you obviously control the shit. Like you're obviously the inventor. Elon Musk is and I never understood more why he called his car the Tesla and why he or what kind of person Nikola Tesla was, because he is this era's Nikola Tesla.
Yeah.
Nikola Tesla being the guy who invented alternating current, who basically powered New York City and then Chicago and like did all this stuff, and like he was this guy that like these big investors like JP Morgan got behind, and he would just fucking figure shit out. And I was like the turn of the century, 1900s or whatever. And now we got this guy Elon Musk, and he's on the brink of the new shit. And like when he was talking about the artificial intelligence, he was saying like when he was talking about the human brain, and he was like, well, we all have this animal brain, right? It's our id. It's that like spinal cortex or whatever, and that controls all of our base things. So we have like our breathing, our heartbeat, our like desire, like hunger, thirst, sex drive, all that shit. And then on top of this, so they call that the animal brain. And then on top of that, we have this cerebral cortex, which actually, and this is what kind of blew my mind, was like he was saying the cerebral cortex, which is like your processing, your consciousness, like your logic and all the other things, that actually works for your animal brain, not the other way around. So your animal brain is the driver, and then it's processed and it accesses the cerebral cortex, which is the logical and kind of like thinking portion of your brain. And then he said that he sees in kind of the way that people are dependent on their phones now. And he was kind of like, when you really think about it, the phone is an extension more now than ever of your consciousness. Like some people, even though it's not a part of you, so much of your life, like you really do, like you kind of, I don't know how to describe it, but he was basically saying that he sees us being able to merge, like the internet in a way is the collective consciousness. It's all the knowledge, it's all the shit that we have collectively in the world on one accessible database. And he was saying that right now we have access to it through this phone, which is a separate entity from our body. But eventually it would actually be merged with us like this kind of like part of us, like the same way that the cerebral cortex works for our animal brain. So now that we would actually have a tertiary, a third layer of our brain, which is this access to the collective consciousness, which means we have access to all the knowledge in the world, and we can just, at like basically like mid-conversation, we could access the internet without, or whatever the concept of the internet is, without ever having to like actually pull out our phone or anything like that. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
I
saw that interview.
That shit blew my fucking mind, because I was like, he's kind of right.
Yeah, no.
But like, how are you going to implement that? Like, what's the first generation of kids where we're going to be like, yo, all the other, like, okay, look, I believe we're going to do it, because who was the first guy who convinced everybody to fucking circumcise their kids? Like, that had to be a hard sell. It had to be a hard sell. Like, how do you convince everybody, like, oh, you...
Everyone's going to get recirced with a fucking computer chip.
Yeah, it's just going to be another thing you do when you get a kid. Like, oh, and we're also going to put this thing in their, I don't know, a fucking chip, or I don't know what the fuck it would be. I don't know what it would be. A fucking Wi-Fi router in their head. I don't know. But we're going to have this thing, I believe, probably in the next 100 years, there's going to be some form of way where we could just be talking and be online.
And then doze off and just look at porn comps.
Yeah, I could be watching porn comps right now. And then we'd really be saving time.
Yeah, dude.
And that's the moral of the story.
I think that's a good way to end, dude. Fucking, I don't know if this is coming out, but...
I'm probably going to try to put it out like tomorrow or something.
Okay. So come through Thursday to the Crown. I'm on Everything Will Be Okay. With friend of the show, hosted by Chris Hudson, who we should get on. We haven't had him on yet.
Yeah,
I know he's been on Mike's podcast before. But so that'll be fun. I'm on that with a bunch of funny comics. I think Jason Weems is closing that out. Honestly, one of the funniest dudes in Baltimore. If you haven't seen Jason Weems, check him out. He's been on like America's Got, or whatever the comic version of that is. I forget, Last Comic Standing. Yeah, he's been on that. Just all around funny ass dude, good ass jokes. That's his hashtag. And then Friday I'll be at Motor House for the Art of Comedy, hosted by other friend of the show, Ivan Martin. That'll be a good ass show with good ass jokes, minus the Jason Weems. He's not on that show. And then I think sometime in October I'm going to be at Nottingham's for Sean Savoy's room. And I think that's all I want to talk about right now. Jimmy, what do you got, buddy?
Let's see.
Scrolling
Hot
through the
Moms
calendar.
Alert. Catch me on Thursday, September 27th. That will be tomorrow night, if all goes to plan, but it probably won't. Oh, yeah. Probably not. It'll be tonight. Thursday the 27th. I will be at Tark's Grill.
Ooh.
From 7 to 10. Not quite happy hour, not quite dinner. Right in the middle. If you find yourself grabbing a bite to eat after happy hour, I will be setting up. Let's see.
I will not be playing yet.
I will not be playing yet. I'm scheduled to be playing yet, but who knows what time I'll get there. Wednesday, October 3rd, 6 to 10. Also a little happy hour crossover into dinner. I'll be at the Hard Yacht Cafe in Dundalk. My first appearance at the Hard Yacht Cafe since I totaled my car getting there last time. And let's see if I can make it there in one piece this time. That'll be a big... If you see me there, we're doing all right.
Made it, yeah.
Saturday, October 6th, catch me at a true happy hour at High Tops, playing as a duo with an undisclosed, to-be-determined sidekick. We'll find out. Exclusive. And that's all I want to give away right now, because that might be all I have.
LFTS podcast across the board. Find us on all your favorite podcasting apps. Like, subscribe, comment. Fucking say what's up to us in the streets. You know what it is.
Yeah, we'll say hi.
And Laughable. That's always a nice little plug to throw in at the end.
Yeah.
Check out that app. Great podcasting app. You can find all your favorite people on there. Look at all the podcasts they've been on. It's a big index of podcasts that is searchable through the hosts and the guests of the podcasts. Coming soon to Android, like we've been saying the last 2 years.
They're getting there. They're getting there.
They're so close. They just have, they got to switch some of the zeros with the ones around, get it working with the Android from the iOS app.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. There's a lot of fucking Android phones out there they got to test it on.
Android might be out of business by the time they finally get it working. That would suck. We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see you next week, guys.
Yeah, rest in peace, Mac Miller.